Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to another blockchain session. Hope you're all doing good today. Okay, so today we're gonna take a look at deploying an ERC20 token. I'll go over what that is. And then I'm going to go over how to do a pre-sale of a ERC20 token. Pre-sales are also known as ICOs or IDOs, or there's a lot of I something O's. But basically, the term means that you want to sell the token before it's listed on the market. So you want some initial investments to help you fund your business or whatever project you're doing. Hi, good evening. Good evening, Ganesh. Okay, so the platform we're using is Uniblock, which is I'm the CTO of. And because Uniblock helps you deploy smart contracts really quickly and it makes your life really simple. And I think it's more beginner friendly than just to coding a ERC20 from scratch. I think this is just easier to understand. So, if you haven't already, you should make a profile on Uniblock. So click start for free. And okay, I've already made my own account. If you didn't, you should see a page where it says sign in with email, Google, or GitHub. And if you click one of them and you fill in the credentials, then you should be able to see this screen. Okay, so you're here on the dashboard of projects. So what we want to do is to create a new project. And I'm going to call this Devsnest ICO. Nope, no special characters. ICO. And then we got a new project. So we click into that project and we'll be on the dashboard. And it recommends you to look at the smart contracts, look at some integrations, invite your friends or teammates, and you'll have this API key. This API key is very important. Whenever you're using our packages, the API key will let you have permissions to use them. So what we're interested in is to deploy an ERC20 token. What is an ERC20 token? Well, it's one of those tokens or cryptocurrencies you usually see. So let's say, okay, this is MetaMask wallet. MetaMask is a cryptocurrency wallet that's decentralized. So let's go through that first. Using MetaMask, this software is downloaded on your computer or whatever client you're on. And this MetaMask wallet does not send any data to the backend for whoever built it. All of the secrets of your keys are managed on your computer and safely stored here. And you can view whatever tokens you have for this wallet. So I've already added like some kind of test token called Fire. Actually, I'm going to remove it so you don't get confused later on. I can see that I have 0.98 Sepolia ETH. Now you might be asking, what is Sepolia ETH? Why is it just not ETH? Well, Sepolia ETH is for the Sepolia test network. So normally you would be on the Ethereum mainnet, which is the real network where the real Ethereum lives. But not everybody has money to play around with, right? You want to test some applications, then you go to a testnet for Sepolia. So for Sepolia, you can request for free Ethereum. What you have to Google is Sepolia faucet. And once you're in Sepolia faucet, here, this one specifically is managed by Alchemy, and they want you to sign up for Alchemy. I've already signed up for Alchemy, so I'm okay. And what I need to do is complete this thing. Let's see, cars. And I can paste my address in there. So address is up here. This is a public address. Whenever someone wants to interact with you or send you money or cryptocurrency, you give them this address. So I'm requesting for some Sepolia ETH. So I paste this address in there and click send me ETH. And once you click it, they should give you a transaction that you can view on Etherscan. And it's going to take some time for it to be mined on the blockchain. So we don't have to wait because we already have some ETH. So I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, looks like it's deposited. Look, I got 0.5 ETH. So I had 0.9 before. Okay, once you got ETH, we can start testing stuff. So today we're going to deploy an ERC20 token. So let's go over to Contracts tab. And up here, I can create a new contract. We can browse through the different types of contracts that Uniblock offers. Right now, there's not too many. We're continuing to integrate more and more. So the first one we have is ThirdWeb. We're partnering with ThirdWeb to add more of their tokens here. And there's going to be more companies and also more from ThirdWeb as well. In addition, there are these tokens, these contracts that we build ourselves in Uniblock. So we're going to select the ERC20. And once you select the ERC20, there's a short explanation of what it is. So even if you're new here, it's okay. You can just read about it. So for ERC20, what can you do with it? And what is it actually? ERC20 is just a specific way of writing your smart contract. And in this specific way of writing it, by specific, I mean you have to have these functions and you must have these variables. If you write it this way, then it is generally accepted that this smart contract is a token. For ERC20, so where does these ERC20 kind of names come from? So ERC20 means Ethereum request for comment. These official standards are accepted by the community are usually, well, not usually, are posted on the EIP website. EIP Ethereum website. So if you're interested in what standards are out there, you can browse this website and look at it. And let's look for the one that we're working on, ERC20. So here it is, ERC20. If you want to see the full details, there's a full detailed page of what it is. So we're here with a short explanation. So what is ERC20? It's pretty much a digital currency on Ethereum. ERC20 tokens are decimal divisible, and there's no special ownership functions assigned. They can represent fungible things. What are fungible things? Well, there are fungible things and non-fungible things. Fungible things means that if we had the same, if I have one ERC20 and you have one ERC20, you have one fungible token, I have one fungible token. And if we exchange it, we cannot tell the difference in value. An example of this is a let's say $1 in the bank, right? If I give you $1 and you give me $1, well, the value is pretty much the same. On the other side, non-fungible, you can tell the difference between the two. So let's say Pokemon cards. I have a Pikachu, you have a Charizard. If I gave you my Pikachu and you gave me your Charizard card, then I can tell the difference, even though they're both Pokemon cards. So yeah, so fungible, ERC20. It can be a medium of exchange. Of course, it can represent digital currency. You can reward people for your tokens. So let's say you have your own value. So Ganesh, you can give people a Ganesh token, and if they give you one Ganesh token, you owe them 1 hour of your work. So interesting what you can do with it. Any industry can do it. Any business can do it. Any individual can do it. You can do voting rights. So let's say you're voting for your local government. You can have one token per person, and using that token, you can submit a vote for a candidate. And launch staking. Launch staking means, oh, that's a bit complicated, but it means you can open up an investment pool for people to buy and deposit the tokens. Okay, what are the options we can do for ERC20? Well, this is not the standard ERC20. This is the Uniblock ERC20. But these are, right now, they're additions to the ERC20 standard. So what can we do? We can always mint new tokens. So that means just making new tokens into circulation. Burn tokens. That means let's say you take $1, you just burn it, and it gets out of circulation. You can pause the contract, which is not what you can do in real life. Pausing means you can stop the movement of the tokens. So it's like stopping the movement of USD, which is not realistic, unless it's digital USD, which is the bank. Snapshot just takes the current data set of the smart contract. Decimals. Now, why is there decimals? You have to understand this reason because Solidity, in which smart contracts are built, do not have decimals. You can only use integers. And if you only can use integers, how do I represent 5 cents, for example, right? So what the standard is that you times the number of tokens by the decimal amount. So let's say I want 2 decimal place. So let's say I have 5 tokens. Then it's actually represented as 5 times 10 to the power of 2, which means I have 500 tokens. Next is initial supply. Initial supply is how much tokens are in circulation from the beginning. Okay, so if you want to read more, there's more documentations here. So the first one will bring you to the Uniblock documentation of ERC20. It's around the same explanation I gave you. And you can look at the read. Specifically, the what functions there are. There's the read functions. You can get the total supply of somebody. Total supply of the token. You can get the balance of someone. You can get the balance of someone at a certain block, which is a certain period of time in blockchain. Allowance. Allowance is interesting. So allowance means I can approve somebody else to spend my tokens. So let's say I want to approve the bank to manage my money and invest the money for me. So the bank would have a account address similar to this, similar to the MetaMask one, and then now they can spend the amount of money that I allowed them to spend. I can also allow different smart contracts to manage my money as well. You can always revoke the allowance back. Let's see, is there any other interesting ones? You can pause the function, of course. And yep, so those are the read methods. Let's look at the write methods. Of course, you can transfer the token to people from me to you. I can transfer somebody else's tokens if they allowed me to. I can approve someone to have an allowance, increase the allowance, decrease the allowance, and I can burn tokens, mint tokens. And okay, I'll stop there. And then there's administration. Administration is a bit special. It's not a typical ERC20 function, but it's useful to have to manage the token supply and to manage how the token works. So you can do grant roles, you can pause, you can set the contract UI, which is contract metadata stuff. So, okay, I think, is there any questions about it so far? Please type in the chat. All right, so I'm going to continue to make this token. So I'm going to make a fire token. It's going to be called fire 1, 2, 3, 4. Symbol is going to be fire. And it's a very hot token. So for this token, it's just going to be me. So the admin is going to be me. The minter is going to be me. I want all the options because why not? And I want the supply of the token to be 100. The project, well, I'm going to choose the Devsnest project and network and chain. So I'm only interested in testing right now. So I'm going to choose Sepolia. If I'm going to deploy for real, I'm going to choose one of these mainnet networks. Usually you would choose Ethereum mainnet, but I'm going to choose Sepolia. So let's click deploy. And when I click deploy, it should prompt my MetaMask and it should ask me the information. Do I confirm? So proper way of doing this is you should really check all the information. So am I really interacting with the right contract address? I know it is because I've checked it before. The gas fee I'm going to spend. So every time you make a transaction, there's a gas fee. You got to pay somebody to process your transaction. That somebody is a validator. And then it totals up the amount of ETH you're spending. So I'm going to click confirm. And now we're just going to play the waiting game. Just like before, you submit a transaction, somebody has to take your transaction and process it. So let's wait a bit. Okay, now it's finished. So there's some stuff you can view here. So I'm going to open these up, show you. All right, so I have deployed my token, and you can check its transaction hashes here. So this is proof that I've deployed it. Here's the transaction. I've deployed it from me. This is my address. And I minted 100 tokens. Cool. And also, you can interact with you can view the code of the contract here. So we automatically verified the code, so you can view it on this link. Etherscan is a very popular blockchain explorer, so you can look at details about a blockchain. You can interact with the contract here, although it's a bit annoying to use, and you can do the same write functions. Okay, so that's the proof that I deployed it. This is just going back to the project, and this is viewing the Uniblock Explorer, which I think is more intuitive to use. So immediately I can get the address of the token, and I would like to add it to my wallet. I want it to be displayed in my wallet. When you click this import tokens, you paste the contract address and it detects what's happening. So add it, import, and there we go. We now have 100 fire tokens. Cool, rich. Okay. Now for sanity check, let's make sure that we actually have it. So let's try out a read function. So balance of myself. So let me copy my own address. How much do I have? I have 100 times 10 to the 18 zeros. Remember, we don't have decimals, so we just add more zeros to represent the decimals. You don't believe me? So let's check the decimal. And there you go, 18 places. How does the token value change? Token value as in my balance, it changes when you transfer the tokens or when you burn it. So, okay, I'll demonstrate it. So let's say I want to mint a token. I want to mint to myself, and I want to mint 1 token. Let's click mint. And confirm. There you go. Let's check if it's has been minted. It's pending. And it's done. So now let's go back to our balance. And I have 1. I have 0.001 more token. Okay, so that's how you mint tokens. And of course, you can transfer as well if you want to. Let's see, where's the transfer? There you go. I want to transfer. Well, I don't really have another address. If somebody makes a MetaMask or have already made a MetaMask, you can send me your address and I can send you some tokens. But let's explore something else. Permissions. So I can grant permissions for someone else to mint tokens. If I don't grant you permission, you cannot mint any tokens. And here you can, instead of manually clicking here, I can go to tokens and mint instead and transfer here. You can archive it and I can edit the metadata, but don't worry about that for now. So that's ERC20. Okay. So next I would like to deploy a presale. So I want to sell this token, right? Alternatively, I can just go around and asking people, hey, do you want to buy my token? Hey, if you give me X amount of Ethereum, I will send you X amount or Y amount of my ERC bar token. but it's decentralized and we want this to be safe and atomic. So instead of doing that, we're going to make a pre-sale contract. How many tokens are there? How many tokens are there is decimal after minting one? Actually, decimal, you can configure it yourself. So by default, the default standard is 18 decimals. You can edit it to 9 and you can edit it to 12. I've seen different tokens doing different things. Okay, so I'm going to do a pre-sale. So let's explore what a pre-sale does. Let's read this. So the pre-sale contract can sell an ERC20 token before its release date. It ensures the buyers are paying the right amount of tokens and the sale is between X time and another time. You can enable a whitelist, so only the select group of people can buy. You can set the token address of the pre-sale, which is going to be my fire token, the payment receiver, so who's going to receive the profits from selling token. It's going to be me, and the admins, which is also going to be me. Again, you can view the documentations here and here, and launcher pre-sale. We'll come back to this. All right, so let's fill in this information. I'm only going to be using this to sell the fire token, so I'm just going to use the same thing, same picture. Fire pre-sale. FIREPRE, fire pre. Very hot sale for a very hot token. Owner is me. The admin is me. The payment receiver is me. Feel free to enter something else when you're doing it. The token address is not me. The token address, if we can remember, we can look for it here. I can say view on Explorer. So this is another way of getting the token address. You just click here, or if you notice, it's the same as the thing in the URL. So we paste it here. That's my token address. Send me some token. Oh, sure. Let me get through this first. Whitelist enable? No. I'm gonna keep in this project and I'm gonna keep it in a Sepolia chain. And I'm going to deploy it. So I'm going to pretend, yes, I verified everything. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. And confirm. And while I'm waiting, I could send Akash some tokens. So Akash, here is one token for you. I will give you one fire token. Next. And let me make sure your address is 82C AA2. 82C AA2. Cool. Confirm. And you should be receiving the token soon, Akash. Okay, and I deployed this smart contract. Again, you can look at it. Oh, is it this one? Oops, closed it by accident. Okay, if you did the mistake like me and you're like, oh, whoops, closed by accident, you can always go back here and click here and go to Sepolia, Etherscan. I am bad at typing. Okay, here we go. And you paste that address in here, and you should see the address. Sorry, you should see the contract. And bam, there's the code. Pretty easy, right? So far, we have done no coding. Yep. So that's our contract. And okay, here's our pre-sale. Let's see what we can do. We can do some configuration. We can make some sales. Permissions again, and embedded iframe. So if you want to include this in your website, just copy this iframe, and you have the buy, the component for your front end. Okay, so I want to make a pre-sale. In order for me to make a pre-sale, I have to give permission to this pre-sale contract to spend my tokens. How do I do that? Well, you have to approve it. So conveniently, we already have this approve button here. But if you were to do it manually, you have to go to you have to go to the ERC20 token and approve there manually. But we make it more convenient. Click approve. Nice, you received it. Gosh. Okay, I want to approve the maximum amount of tokens. So I will next approve. So they can spend all my tokens. Now we play the waiting game again. Cool. Transaction completed. And I should be able to deploy start this pre-sale. So I want to start it at, today, now, and end it tomorrow. Withdrawal time, I'll make it the day after tomorrow. How much do I want to sell? I want to sell 10 tokens. Payment currency, I want you to pay me in Ethereum. And the Ethereum smart contract, well, it's not actually a smart contract, but the Ethereum address is actually just the 0 address. It's just 0x0. Okay, next is maximum tokens per buyer. I want each person to buy maximum 1, and there's no minimum. And this one is 1-to-1. Okay, I'm going to make it very cheap, so I'm going to add some zeros here. So one Sequoia ETH can buy a lot of these tokens. All right, let's confirm the pre-sale and confirm here. And we're playing the waiting game once again. Okay. Let's check if it's done. And it should be done. Cool. Okay, so we have started our pre-sale. And now technically we could interact with it like this. So we can do buy. And then we do payment address is me. Actually, I forgot what the payment address is. So let's check the documentation. So where is the documentation? So if you go to Uniblock docs, you can access it from the Uniblock website. If you go to uniblock.dev, the docs are linked here. So you just click here and you're in docs. So once you're in the docs, and just close these here, you can go to launcher and extensions and ERC20 presale. And the right methods is what we're looking for, and we want buy. So the payment address is the address of the token to be purchased with. So that is the 0 address. I forgot the 0 address. So what I do is I Google Ether 0 address. And there we go. They gave me the 0 address. So copy and paste it in here. And how much do I want to pay? I want to pay 0.01. Okay. Oh. Sorry, it takes in a big number. So I want to buy, let's say, 1 token. Nope. I apologize. I don't know. I'm entering the wrong parameters. But basically, you can just enter the number here, and you should be able to buy your tokens. I forgot what the exact parameters are. But that is it for pre-sale. Well, that's one aspect of pre-sale. Any questions so far? If not, we can move on to how to integrate it to the front end. Okay, let me pull up my front end. How do you interact with it? Interact with smart contracts on the front end? Okay, so I'm going to use React because I heard you guys have learned React. So let me see. Create React app. Let me see a command for it. Can you guys see my screen, by the way? Oh, you can't. Okay. Let me switch my screen. Here we go. And I'm going to create React app here. We run this command. While that's downloading, what should we do? So how about we display our token amount on our front end? And how about we are able to connect to our MetaMask wallet on our front end as well? Let's do those two. Okay, this is taking longer than I expected. So I'm going to share screen of the code I've already written instead. Share my screen. And here we go. So I've already set up the code here. Let me double check you guys can see it. Yep, you guys can see it. Cool. Okay, so this is the code, and I'm gonna npm start. That's my React app. So not this screen. I'll need to share both my screens. So okay, let me share here. Okay, I hope you guys can see. Yep. So, okay. So this is what you should be able to see on the left side for running this code. So what we have here is the wallet and its address, the connected wallet, the chain ID. You might be confused what chain ID is, but it's just a numerical representation of Sepolia. So this number means Sepolia. You can connect your wallet. Mine's already connected. I can demonstrate to you if I disconnect this wallet. I can click connect wallet and it should prompt me my MetaMask. And I want to connect it. Cool. And far token balance is 5 because this was my previous token. So let's change it to the current token we have. So this was my previous token's address. What is the current address? Let's look it up. My current address is this one. The assets. And I'll copy here this time. Um, Load, and there we go. We have a balance of 89 tokens. I parse it to take the whole number instead. Yep. So let's analyze what just happened. What did I do here? So first, let's look at the HTML. This project I simply just have app.js. I didn't use anything else. And the HTML is just this. Pretty simple, not really many styling to be honest. I have wallet and I displayed the wallet address in the current account use state, chain ID in the chain ID use state, and my button does handle connect, which prompts the MetaMask wallet to connect. And I displayed the fire bounds here. I'm going to remove these unnecessary stuff. And as you can see up here, I have stored the default states of the use states. And the interesting thing starts here. So I use use effects. So upon loading, I want to run this init function. And the init does this long piece of code. But this code, you don't have to write it by yourself. So what you need to do is if you want to integrate MetaMask, I want to go to the documentation. Okay. MetaMask docs and get started. And then if you go to get started, set up your dev environment. Okay, this code is for you to copy and paste. You just copy and paste in here, and then you do some small tweaks to it. So instead of using inner HTML and current account, I want to make this compatible with React, the use state. So I change it to set current account for the use state, and I do some additional stuff here. So this code already manages the MetaMask interaction for you. And for Uniblock, you want to initialize the Uniblock SDK. So let's go to Uniblock docs now. And conveniently, for all the smart contracts, we have an SDK for it. So actually, the Uniblock SDK is a general SDK. So it could work for anything. So in particular, we want to get the bounds of a token. So we go to Uniblock SDK, we look at the token, and let's see, where's the bounds? Get token bounds. Here we go. So first we have to initialize the Uniblock SDK here. How do we initialize it? Let's go back, quick start. And here we go. Here's the code to initialize it. So you just put the API key. Remember the API key from the beginning. Paste it in here. But this is for a demo project, but you should safely store your API key in a environment file instead. But for now, it's just a proof of concept. You paste it in the initialize, and then you specify you want, after initializing, you want to get the token balance from the SDK. And then token balance going back here. Token balance. Here we go. It takes in 3 parameters: wallet, address, chain ID, and token address. So I specify my accounts. So MetaMask gives you a list of accounts when you're connected. And right now, I only have one account. So at index 0 is the first account, which is the current active one. And then chain ID is Sepolia, which is the number you see here. And then the token address, which is the one we deploy. And once we query this SDK, after it comes back, we will get the balance. But this balance is times 10 to the 18, so it's not very readable. What we want to do is format it to a new balance, which is readable. So take off 10 to the 18 zeros, and then I will turn it into an integer, so which results in the 89. And that's pretty much it. There's a connect wallet button as well. So this one is you take the window.ethereum object. This object is injected into the browser by MetaMask. As long as you have MetaMask, you have access to window.ethereum. And how do you get the accounts? Well, you just send this request to window.ethereum, which will prompt the MetaMask, and it will it will return the list of accounts that are connected, and you can set it. Where did I find this function? Well, of course, in the docs. If you go over here and you do access a user's account, right here, there's the function. They also do some error handling. I got lazy and didn't do it, but you get the concept. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. I made my token on Uniblock and made X amount of token, and their values at USD is 0. How can I increase the value? Well, it'll always be 0 because you're on testnet. The value is, well, you have to put your token on an exchange like Uniswap or something. That's a bit of a advanced concept. And then you make some sales on it. People start buying it. Okay. There's no more questions. Going forward, you guys should try to build your own dApp. So this is a very, very simple dApp of no styling. You guys can make your own React application and then initialize MetaMask, initialize Uniblock, and use the SDKs, deploy your own contracts, and start selling your own tokens. There's other stuff out there that if you want to go deeper into. So, for example, you want to look at the contracts, and you go here. Oh no, I don't want this. I want to make new contracts. Let's go to this, and I want to make new contracts. There's a lot of things you can do. So we talked about non-fungible tokens. So you can deploy NFTs and sell NFTs if you want to, or maybe just give it to your friend. You can make a pre-sale. You can make an airdrop to multi-send to different people. Right now, we're just sending one by one. You can make an NFT marketplace. So not only can you sell your NFT, you can make a whole platform for people to trade their NFTs, and you don't have to do any coding. Just use this. Next is there's different variations of the ERC20 token and NFTs as well from Thirdweb. Okay, so for your homework, let's try it out, and I'll connect to you guys on Discord when you have questions or and such. All right, have a nice day.